A lark and her momster are coming your way. Gonna tell it how it is, so won't you join us today? You ready?
I'm ready.
You're
Are
ready?
you ready?
Wait, look at Luna's head. Hold on. I'm ready? You ready?
Are you ready?
Nothing's happening with you. Hi, and welcome back to A Lark and Her.
Momster.
That's you.
I know. I know who I am.
I know.
I know what I am. I know who I am, and I know how I am.
And we know who we are, and we're wow. We're drinking.
We are drinking.
We are drinking.
What are we drinking?
I don't know. Are we getting right into this?
No
witty banter?
Well, I think we can.
Guys, it's the day before my birthday, which means it's my birthday weekend.
It is, but then this session won't come
out.
out.
No, this isn't going to come out. You guys are going to be so confused. Actually, you know what? I have the best way for anyone to remember my birthday. Are you ready?
The autumnal equinox.
Not only the autumnal equinox, but even better, it's catchy. Are you ready?
Oh God, no! Please don't.
Do you remember?
No.
The 21st night of September.
Please make it
we
stop.
We were dancing the night away.
Stop.
Okay, I'm done.
Thank you. Oh God. I prefer the autumnal equinox and remembering your birthday. It's either
I remember being 21.
You were born. You were born on the autumnal equinox. It's not this year.
It's on the 22nd.
It's on the 22nd,
But in another story, I was 21 years old when I was sitting at the bar. You were with me because you're my best friend, and we were sitting.
That was the year that I gave you the flask.
Yes, it was.
Where is your flask?
It's somewhere in all the stuff. Anyway, so we were sitting at the bar.
I think you've probably lost it.
I have not lost it.
You've lost a lot of things.
Well. Anyway, so we were sitting at the bar, and I had never noticed in that song that they said my birthday, and the bartender was like, "Oh, your song is on," and I was like, "Oh, I'm on fire." My song, and he was like, "Yeah, it's your birthday song, 21st of September," and I was like, oh, "Wow, I was 2 years old when I learned that." So I was 21, learning about my birthday in an Earth, Wind, and Fire song.
And I gave you a really cool
flask,
engraved.
And you know what?
Flask.
And you know what? I bet if I do a little magic, hint, hint, I bet we could find it. We could do a finding spell.
You could.
Okay. Ooh, I'm gonna do that.
Okay. You do that, but before you do that, why don't you tell our listeners about what we're drinking? Which I will say.
Wait.
It's
not my favorite.
Well,
I thought we were going to say that together.
Not that it's not good. It's just not my favorite. Because it has a little too much of...
I need to tell the story behind
Yeah, you tell it and then I'll tell you why.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm going to quickly tell the story about the it's not my favorite because you're going to hear us say that a lot. I once worked with kids on the spectrum and I was a behavioral therapist. And I was in this kind of classroom setting. The kids were learning how to go to school. So they're all sitting down and one kid gets to pick a book. So I had the kid next to me who got to pick the book. He chose the book. He showed it to the class. And then another kid that was sitting in the class just raises his hand, flips his hair. Mind you, they're all like 3 and 4 years old. Raises his hand, flips his hair, and he goes, that's not my favorite. And I was like... coined. That is my new catchphrase. That's not my favorite.
That's not my favorite. Yeah.
So, well, we're enjoying the wine, but it's not our favorite. Not saying that it might not be your favorite.
Right. Only because of one specific ingredient
lemon,
in it.
which is so interesting because I like lemon tea. But so what we're having is Cantaora Cava.
Can you say it? I don't. Easy for you to say. Can you not screw up the wine?
No, Cantaora. I'm gonna just call it Cantaora Cava, Cantaora Cava, and it's lemon with cidery aromas are solid and draw you in. Well, they definitely will draw you in. The palate has a fresh, clean feel and lively, tangy flavors of citrus, green fruits, and green herbs. Zesty, a bit lemony, and balanced on the finish. They are a bit lemony. There are some people who love lemon flavored things.
I like some lemon. I like lemon with enough sugar that it cuts that tartness.
She's like, I like lemon with sugar.
I do. I grew up with Hubig's pies, those lemon Hubig's pies that are just coated in grease and sugar.
Oh, they're so good, though.
And they're so good.
They're so good.
Yeah. But this is, it's not a bad wine. And if you do like lemon, it would be something you would enjoy because you can definitely taste the lemon.
It's actually, I feel like it's a good summer wine. We're not in some, we're in some fall. We're in the summer fall.
We called it. We're in Swall.
Or swall.
Swall.
And it's not swell and swall.
No.
No, it's too hot.
It's still
We're ready
warm.
for autumn. But hopefully we can put the intention out there because today's episode is all about
making our own magic.
Yes, thank you. Good. You got that cue. Good. All right. We did
I'm
one thing
slow on the uptake a lot of days.
So tell us kind of tell the listeners why we decided to do this episode.
Well, why did we decide to do this episode? Or because it was earlier in the week.
I decided I wanted to talk about making our own magic. But we just had a great reading with our friend now, Juliet Carth. She is an incredible tarot reader, and she's a no bullshit reader too. So
she is. She definitely tells it like it is. One of the best readings I've had in a long, long time. Yeah. So it was kind of fun.
It was very fun. But it's not fun when your guides are like, hey, over here. Hey, guess what? Ain't gonna be easy. I know you wanted the easy way out, but guess what? You gotta work for it. And you're like, God dang it.
I know.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It does, but you know what? We're gonna make our own magic through it.
Amen. Let's toast to that. Hey, let's do some lemony cava.
Lemony cava.
Lemony cava. Well, one of the things that I think I have always had a very deep sense of spirituality, and that deep sense of spirituality includes the ability to kind of recognize that there is magic in the world. Yeah. And there are beautiful things in the world that we can't account for. And if you are a person of faith, if you are a Christian, or you observe Judaism or
Wicca, paganism, it's whatever.
Right.
If you don't believe necessarily in a higher power, but you believe in energy, there is magic in everything.
Well, and there is a sense of faith. And what I was going for is, even if you are, you observe a Muslim religion or a Hindu religion or a Buddhist religion, whatever your faith may be, there is a sense of magic in that you believe things that you cannot touch or feel or see.
Right.
There's just something internal that gives you that sense of beauty, or that sense of fear, or that sense of whatever. Right. And it's often based on our cultures, our families, our experiences. So I decided to do a little research into what is magic.
Ooh.
And it was fascinating because across the centuries, magic has always existed. And one of the first references to magic was in 2700 BC. And it related to a person referred to as Didi, who was noted to have performed a conjuring.
Could it be Dedi? I like Dedi.
You like Dedi?
Yeah.
Okay. Didi, Dedi.
I thought someone said something the other day about, they're like, oh, well, in the Bible, Job says this. And I'm like, Job? Who's Job? And then I realized it's Job. So
I think you mentioned that in the last podcast.
Oh, fuck. Sorry.
You're repeating yourself. All right. Anyway. Back to magic. And there are references to ancient Greek myths related to pagan cultures. The Dark Ages is when magic, quote unquote, became associated with the occult. And this actually carried across the Middle Ages. During the Renaissance, Reginald Scott published The Discovery with the IE instead of the Y at the end, The Discovery of Witchcraft, in 1584. And this was designed to address the persecution those who embrace the concept of magic among the various populations were experiencing.
That's not the same book as that like horrible book. No, that's a different book.
That's a different book.
I can't remember what it's called, but the
Yeah.
horrible book about like how to decide who's a witch.
No. This was to address the persecution of those
Okay.
who were being persecuted
Okay, that's
because
different.
of their
Yeah.
beliefs in
that's definitely
certain populations. And then during the 18th century, magic became a source of entertainment at fairs and higher levels of the court, the king's courts or the queen's courts. And
They had their own magicians for funsies.
Right.
Gotcha.
There was an Englishman, Isaac Fox, who promoted magic in advertisements, and he even performed for King George II.
I don't know if we like that one. How many wives did he kill?
I don't remember.
Okay.
But maybe, was it that King George?
I don't know.
I think it was another king.
I think there's too many kings. Not that there's any disrespect to the
No
kings.
history lesson on this podcast.
Y'all, this is not a history podcast.
Yeah, you no more wine for you. And what I also found out was that even Sir Isaac Newton in the later 1600s and early 1700s studied the concept of magic within the context of the occult.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I think, when we think of occult, we think of demons and negative things.
I don't.
But, well, I think culturally.
Oh, the society.
Right, thinks of that. But at the end of the day...
But that's largely because of media, mainstream media.
And, well, we'll get into that. It's also partly because of religion. But anyway.
Well.
So, and there's nothing wrong with religion. Everybody has their own beliefs and they have a right to them. In the Western world, magic is rooted in ancient Judeo-Christian and Greco-Roman heritage and was often associated with women.
Because we're fucking magical.
Exactly. Especially if it was viewed as harmful.
Well, we're fucking badass bitches witches. What can we say?
So in our country and in other countries, women who were healers or empaths were sometimes drowned or burned at the stake based on hearsay from others accusing them of magic and connecting it with a negative impact on basically puritanical religious practitioners, referring to them as diabolic.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's where
the witch trials come in. And there's so many witch trials. I didn't realize that.
Oh, over the world.
All over the world. I didn't even realize they had witch trials in Spain that were just as horrific, if not more horrific, than they were here. And it's wild because it really was just like, Goody made me cough today. Boo-hoo. Sorry. And then sadly, Goody would be drowned. And it's absolutely ridiculous because it's so interesting how so many of these people really depended on these women for healing.
Yeah.
In their villages.
And birthing their children.
Absolutely. They were doulas. They were...
Right. These women who got up in the middle of the night to go to a neighbor's house to help them have this child. But if there was something wrong with the child, they were able to accuse the person who helped them deliver the child.
Right. Or they would help heal the child. And all of a sudden, oh, well, she's been in cohorts with the devil because she has magic to heal. It's like, the fuck?
I know. It's
also,
crazy. Crazy making. It's really crazy making.
Those stories, the devil sounds hot. So I'm like, I don't know.
You're so freaking weird. Some days.
Most days.
All days. But kind of going back to the history piece,
right.
So we don't lose it in here. By the 19th century, educated elites began to connect magic with negative connotations.
Boo.
Yet there were also journalists and academics who equated religion to magic, since there was no actual sscience behind either.
And that's still an argument to this day.
Exactly.
There are scientists who don't believe in magic because they're like, I need this. There's a science behind why this phenomenon is happening.
And yet there are also scientists who don't believe in religion because they can't. Right. They can't identify
or quantify
right. And yet there are people who are religious or that are scientists, physicians, and there are people who are physicians and scientists who believe in magic. So,
Absolutely, yeah.
It's not, again, I think this whole concept of magic reminds me that things are not black and white.
Never.
Things are mostly gray, but they can have so much beautiful color in that gray.
Oh, I love that.
So, we need to find that.
It's like the rainbow after a storm, right?
Exactly.
Like the chaos, but then there is beauty within it.
Amen. You're spot on. Ultimately, in the evolving field of psychology, there was a connection among those people who were studying psychology between magic and superstition.
Are you superstitious?
I'm not really all that superstitious.
Are you a little stitious?
No.
Oh, see, I'm very superstitious.
I'm not.
I won't put my backpack on the ground because I don't want there's a wives' tale that says if you put your purse on the floor, you're losing money.
It's also in Judaism.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See, and I learned that as an old wives' tale. I believe that black cats are good luck. I love Friday the 13th. That is actually equated to a very beautiful day for women. That's good luck. So there are some superstitions. And maybe it's not even superstitions. Please excuse my mom's dog. That's also mine, technically. But anyway, there are some superstitions
it's just the dog you rescued.
Well,
and then your grandmother ended up with, and now I have it.
Yeah, I have a rescue problem. But going back into magic, there are some things, like, for example, the other night, we watched a movie that was about possession. And for me, I'm one of those people that believes when you watch something so dark, I need to cleanse myself of that energy.
So you smudged the whole house.
I surely fucking did. You bet your ass I did.
My house is definitely free of all spirits and negative energy. Because she smudged my house.
I smudged myself. Energy clearing to me is very important.
Yeah, it is important.
Yeah. And you know that better than anybody now. Oh my God, dog, are you okay?
Are you okay, Jax?
You okay, buddy?
Are you having a hard day? You are having a hard day.
Oh, buddy.
Poor baby. So
he's old.
With this connection between magic and superstition, magic, like religion, poor Jax, ultimately also got linked to mental health or brain-related issues because they couldn't be defined. And sorry, Jax, you're really distracting me. And it was viewed that only those who were connected to reality were viewed as normal.
Interesting.
And people who weren't connected to reality because maybe they were experiencing some mental health issues or were dealing with a belief in something that wasn't mandated by a person-centered type of being, like a church.
Okay.
If they had their own beliefs and it was not...
If they danced to the tune of their own drum or their own beat.
Correct.
Like I do.
Then they were viewed as not being tied to reality.
I would have 1000% if I had lived back then, I would have been drowned or burned or hanged or lobotomized, depending on
How do you know you weren't?
Oh, that's true. There's so many different lives.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. I'll tell you later, but I had a whole dream about another life once, but that's going back.
Anyway, so let's fast forward. Right. Fast forward to the 1960s,
okay.
And anthropologists began studying the concept of magic in rural and cultural context across the Western world. And they began creating the connection between magic and art.
Ooh, I love that.
So today, magic is used to describe excitement and wonder. Think about how we'll say something like, oh, that was magical.
Right.
We'll go to a performance and say, oh, that was magical.
Or... I don't know. For me, this morning, I saw a deer, right? And I was like, wow, that's magical.
Exactly.
Beautiful deer in the middle of the woods. Super magical. Wow, that sound you're making, Dax, is super not magical.
Not magical. I'm sorry. He's 14.
Old. He's a sweet boy.
He's a sweet boy, but I think he's having some allergy issues.
Yeah. Aren't we all these days?
So Yeah,
Or
exactly.
attention issues.
It could be that too. I think it's more attention issues. Anyway, going back to magic.
I swear that's what we're talking about. We're talking about magic.
I'm not sure. So, it became more pervasive in popular imagination and idiom to think about magic as something good, something wonderful.
And I love that.
Anthropologically and sociologically, theories around magic helped and continue to help to demarcate what's culturally and socially acceptable in respect to unknown forces and or for some people the occult. And there are so many references, articles, books, studies about magic that we could have an entire podcast about its history, but we aren't doing that.
No, because that would, I mean, well, maybe one day down the road we could just have a whole season of just magic.
Yeah.
It's a lot of research, but I feel like we could do it one day.
Yeah, that's a lot of research.
Well, I mean, we're doing research now.
Who's doing the research?
Okay. Well.
In essence, I think all of what I learned by doing some of this deep dive into the concept of magic and where it came from is that there are varying and personal ideologies and meanings around the concept of magic. And so I really just would love for you to share, when you think about magic, what do you think about? What comes to mind?
So it's so interesting because to me, magic is every day. I wake up and I have a ritual of watching what I call a mind movie, and it's like a manifestation movie. It's a vision board, but I put music to it. So whenever I hear that song play, I can see the vision board in my head. And that's a ritual to me. And there's a lot to be said about rituals and magic kind of correlating. When I make my tea, sometimes I will have rose tea. If I want someone to be a little sweeter to me, I'll put a little honey in the rose tea. I'll make sure to like stir it to the right. I have these little rituals that I do, but again, it's so much about intention.
It is.
I feel like magic is so much about intention and the energy that you put forth. You always tell me that like I do things with my mind, right? Like I have an incredible mind that I can make things happen. Whether it's good things or not so good things.
Yes.
But you always do what you put your mind to. And it's so interesting because I look back on vision boards and it may not be in the way that I would have wanted it to happen, but things have happened. So for example, I wanted to live in a cabin in the woods. In my head, I was like, oh, I'll do that forever. Didn't happen forever, but I did get my wish. So I did
boy,
manifest
was it an interesting wish.
It was an interesting wish, but I learned a lot from it.
You did.
So
you absolutely, positively did.
I think that, and especially after like having readings with Juliet and hearing these messages that come through in tarot or in palm readings, and palm readings and tarot are very different, but it's messages from your guides that are kind of telling you there's not necessarily how to do it, but this is what you need to do, and the how kind of comes along. And I really believe in that. And I think magic is something that we create, and we have the ability to create our own magic. I really believe that we have the ability to create our own magic. And it goes back to things that we hear every day, right? Misery loves company. So the more negative you are, the more you're going to draw that in, right?
Negativity begets negativity.
And I see that in myself.
Unhappy people, what is the expression? Misery loves company.
Or hurt people hurt people.
Hurt people hurt
so
people.
So it's, I even notice that with myself. If I'm negative or if I wake up in a bad mood, I try really hard to kind of turn it around. If I have a bad dream, I call you and I tell you about it to kind of get it off of my head and
into mine.
Well, that's why.
Thank you so much.
That's why you're my mama.
Yeah. Well, and I think I've seen so much progression through the years around that. You have moved. You are able to find the link between your thinking and the repercussions that come about as a result of that thinking, and make those shifts. You haven't always been able to do that.
No, but a lot of that is also down to my belief in magic and being able to create my own magic.
Yeah.
Being able to think, okay, that was a horrible dream. I'm going to let it go. Like, I'm going to tell someone about it. And then to me, that magic of telling someone about it is like, I've told someone, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone. And now I can start fresh. And so I will do things to make myself feel better. Making your own magic can literally be meditating for 5 minutes.
Or praying.
Or
if you're
praying.
into prayer.
Yeah.
Right.
It can be moving your body. It can be, again, the ritual that you have with making your morning coffee. I mean, it can just all be, it's very much about setting an intention. And I try every day to find a little bit of magic in my day, even in the really, really difficult days. And I think a lot of that also comes down to just gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
So
keeping a gratitude journal
huge.
It's life changing.
Yeah.
It really is. It makes a huge difference in our outlook and how we approach things. And I can tell the days when I don't do it, the days that I've overslept and don't take the time in the morning, because I am much more stressed.
Yeah.
I am much more reactive. If I take that 5 minutes in the morning just to journal, I'm grateful for my fur babies.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for my daughter, and I'm grateful for the view out of my window.
Right.
Just simple things.
Oh,
It makes such a difference. And I'm stuttering. I think it's the wine. I think it's the lemon. And
no,
the wine.
and it makes sense. I wake up every day and I say I am grateful for a new day. But I want to say something about making your own magic, because while yes, you can make your own magic and it can be very positive, you can make your own magic and it can be dark. You can make your own magic and it can be chaotic. Juliet is doing a really cool class about sigil magic, but it's a lot about chaos magic. And there's kind of a stigma to chaos magic that it's negative, but it's not. We live in chaos.
Oh, God.
Right?
We are definitely in the middle of chaos right now.
Well, but it's kind of like chaos is it's always going to be there. Nothing's ever, you could have structure and that can be negative, as we see in my job. So, I mean, chaos can be good. Mm-hmm. It just depends on the wow.
Easy for you to say.
Line. It depends on the intention behind it. So make your own magic. Be mindful of the intention behind it, and make your own magic.
Well, I can honestly say, honey, I've learned a lot over the years. I know I'm the person who kind of introduced you to the concept of magic.
Oh my God, yeah.
But I have learned so. Why do I keep saying but? Throughout, I've been saying but and but. I'm just
remix.
I'm just the stuttering queen in this episode. The most truly magical experience for me was the moment you were born.
Aww.
And I don't think anybody can appreciate how deeply I felt that connection, and how much I was grateful to God, to the universe, because I never really thought I'd ever have children. And then I had this beautiful...
Weird edit. Sorry, Jax is having a cough attack.
He is having a cough attack.
You were saying how beautiful I was? What?
I had this beautiful little native baby that came out of my womb. Oh. And I was like, because I'd always dreamed of having a baby with dark hair and brown eyes and darker skin. And that, I don't know why, but I just felt like...
Well, you made your own magic in making me be born.
On your great grandmother's birthday.
Yes.
I totally did. I walked around. So your great grandmother her birthday was on September 21st.
Right.
And so on the 20th, I walked around saying, Labor today, birth tomorrow, Labor today, birth tomorrow. And I'll be damned if you didn't listen to me. You were
first time.
The only time. The one time. You were born 10 days early.
Wow.
So, but I did make my own magic.
Yeah.
And when you came out, it was truly magical.
Aww.
And you've blessed me every day of your life. I'm not saying that every day has been...
I was going to say, are you sure?
I'm not saying every day has been easy. And we'll talk about that in another podcast. But another episode, not another podcast, but another episode. Or maybe anybody wants to bring us on to another podcast to talk about
We'd
that.
love to be guests.
Anyway, but it's, I think we have always had an incredibly strong connection.
We have.
And
it's interesting too, because people always tell me, wow, you're so close with your mom. Like I hear about people who are close with their mom, but not to the extent that you are with Gami and I am with you. And I think that's something very magical about our matriarchal line.
yes, it is.
I think that's something that, especially between the three of us, it's like this beautiful triquetra.
It is. It
really
truly
is.
is.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Stop
it. We're going to have to get that tattoo now.
What? Ooh, stop it?
No.
Oh.
The
The
triangle.
triquetra. Yeah.
Triquetra. Wait, you have one.
I do. I have two.
Oh.
Because it reminds me of you, me, and Gami.
Oh, well, then I'm going to have to get one.
Yep.
I can't wait.
I had them.
I know. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to have to do that. So, yeah.
In essence, we hope that you are able to create your own magic. And
we're sending you lots of magically positive energy, because the world needs lots of magic and good magic and happiness and
even chaos magic, because again, sometimes structure can be what's the word I'm looking for, when you're like suffocating.
Suffocating.
Right. Mm-hmm. So create the magic for you that you need, or that you want, or that just believe in yourself and believe in magic. It doesn't have to be the magic you see on Sabrina or Charmed, although that would be really fucking cool. I would love to vanquish the demon, but not in like
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, but love me some Buffy. But you know, it doesn't have to be that Hollywood magic. It really is. Magic can be in gardening. So truly, just go out there, make your own magic, set your intentions, know that we believe in you.
Yeah, magic can be kindness.
Yeah, magic
to
can
other
be
people.
1,000%. You can smile at someone and guess what? You changed their whole life.
Yeah, and we're going to end on that note.
Yeah.
Go out there and create some magic and
make your own magic.
That's right. All right.
All right.
Well, until next week.
I don't know what to say.
Now you say, we love your feedback.
Why did we say, we love your feedback?
Because I'm drinking the lemon wine.
True. We will love your feedback, and we would love for you to tell us about some magical moments that have happened to you, or some magical moments that you have created in your life. I guess that's the same fucking thing, but
yeah, it is.
It is.
Why don't you be redundant there?
I will be. But you can always send us a message on my Instagram, which is @LarkandLuna, or you can email us at larkandmomster@gmail.com, LarkandMomster@gmail.com. I'm sorry.
If you'd seen her face while she was trying to get that out.
I can't ever. Oh, hold on. I can't ever. Wow, words. Hold on. I can't ever spell it in my head without closing my eyes.
Well, it wasn't just that you were closing your eyes. It was that you were closing your eyes and you kept getting like further away from the microphone. It was painful for you to get each letter out.
Spelling is hard.
It's hard?
It's hard.
It's a horde?
Okay, with that, we're gonna give you Matt. Do you believe in magic? Over and out.